Hello, good evening, and welcome to the stream. How very good to see you. Yes, indeed. Alright, so if you're watching the video VOD later, if you're live on with us on Twitch, welcome to the stream. If you're watching the VOD later on YouTube, hi all, and welcome to the video. Although we are now streaming on YouTube as well, in high bit rate. So all the normal accoutrements, if that's the right word, over on Twitch. So you've got the banners and the webcam and all that kind of stuff. And the YouTube stream is just my voice and the game, basically. There we are. I think all that is now done. It is okay. Right. Let's go to the respective live screens. Yes. There we are. Right. Let us commence and go get some daily missions. Yeah, I've got Wednesday off. Mrs. Gallos too is at work, but she also has a lift home from work, so I'm free to have a beer if I want, and I want. Let's see what we get. I think Freelancers Inc. is still up, and I think it's Deer Week this week. Anyone high enough level for some dust it off? Applying for a job. Straightforward, please. Goodbye. Oh, what we got? Black Market Bioware out in Avalon. No, Mort, I think. Mort or Avalon. One of the two. Mort, yeah. Where can you offer me an elite assignment? We'll take the Mantis Cave. Just got grid space there. Have I got crit buffs? Oh, they're gone. I think they went. Okay. We'll get the Alien Daily as well. See where it puts us. Face the aliens alone. Ah, spaced out outside Newland. Okay, sounds good. Seem to have decided to log in when it's dark and gloomy for some reason. Once again. Nope, lag. No, nothing crashed recently. Hopefully Tier hasn't. We can get to the buff bots. We'll go ICC and pick up the freelancers before we forget. Because you know we're going to forget. Yeah, I think all that and crashed recently. It's usually busier than that. Any day of the week at any time of day. But there you are. There we go. There's the freelancers uploaded. Yeah, now we want to go here, pick up some buffage. Yes, we do. Seems eerily quiet. Lita Industries. Girl is thick. Yep. Alright, okay. Let's get the regulars. And same over here. Let's get some paid buffs. Ragester, welcome to the stream. Good to see you. Buff menu. Just curious, actually. It tends to say here, composite mochums. Moochums. Okay. Oh yeah, we changed the bottom bit, didn't we? So the 201, what level to receive? 201, right, okay. So we'd still only get the 1 hour one. Yeah, we won't bother, we'll get infuses instead. At least it's 4 hours, you know? Right, we are sufficiently buffed. I think we'll go to Newland. Yes, we will. Ooh, it's definitely dark and murky. I hear you've been abducted by aliens. Yeah, we got our Dalian mission. I love that. What kind of ship was it? Was it green with sticky out green bits? By any chance? Oh, it's the cocoon version. Let's see if we can roll again using the beacon to get out of here. See if we can get the other one, which is faster. Which reminds me, grid cans. Yes, I need to grab some fix-a grid. Oh, not fix-a grid, but nano cans for the grid. I had a load. I've used them all. And not replenished my supply. We want to do sell items. Yeah, he's got a few. 8,000. Oh my god. Yeah, that should do us. What time do the sun come up? It's very dark and murky and depressing looking. That one is plus 40 bow. We want the next one. But I think it's only plus 60, but it's still better. Is the bang of Thunderbow useless? I don't think so. Bang of Thunder. It's not brilliant. It's an NPC in Borry that gives away cans, is there? Oh, wow. It does have aim shot, but it's very, very slow. 2.5 and 2.3 recharge. I don't know if it's all that good, I'll be honest. With a high enough crit, the aim shot could be good, but there are better aim shot bows. Oh, go on, Newland. Well, the mail terminals in Newland, now I think about it. Yep, there. So there's an NPC in Borry. Are you sure it's an NPC, not a player character? Yeah, very low min damage, so you do need a high crit with it. An NPC in Borry. Are you sure it's not a player character? An actual NPC that gives away nanocans. Where? Implant Bob blew my mind the other day. Okay, just trying to think. AFK, I think. Where's this NPC then? Oh, the NPCs. Yeah, if you want buffs and stuff, you come to Borealis. Go to any of these attractive the maximum amount of non-refundable credits you can trade me is okay. I didn't mean to open trade, but yeah, if you go up to any one of these and go tell %T once they're targeted, and then you will input their name, %T, help, like so, like that, and then click on the help, show popular buffs, etc. There's a few of these around Rubicon. Here, Gothic. Where? That's not an NPC. That's a player character. Unattended player character, but player character. XP grid. Only just gives you a couple like that. Oh, that's nice. Yeah. Okay, that's not an NPC though. The player made this character. Yeah, the player made, so the player pays for the account in some cases because they're paid characters for certain buffs and things like that, and free to play characters, and then they have a background script that they're running, and the background script allows them to buff you as much as you need, which is just like super duper handy. Chris Kenny, really want to start playing this again. I've 9 220s, but is it very dead now? It's not busy like the old days, no. But it's I wouldn't say it was dead, no. I mean, Sector 42 happens most days, etc. There's raid groups and stuff like that. And, you know, dead means you log in and you're the only player. That's a dead game. Like Red Dead Redemption 2 online is a dead game. Anarchy, no. Sometimes you get stuck behind people in dungeons and stuff like that, doing missions and whatnot, so. Hey, we've been noted by aliens again. Let's see if we can't get the not cocoons mission. People have been saying AO is a dead game since about 2005. So, yeah. And if we had the population we had in 2005, we'd say it's thriving. Truth be told, when we had the lockdowns, the game really had a big uptick in player base and loads of returning players, etc. Yeah, we got rid of the Cocoons version. Let's go over here. Excuse me. It was probably busier 5 years ago than it is now. But a lot of people did carry on playing after the lockdowns. I think what happened, you know, people were stuck at home, maybe working from home, etc., and that became the new norm. And a lot of businesses figured out, hey, the people working from home, their productivity is up. They're never late. They never take sick days. Maybe this isn't a terrible idea. Plus, we don't have to pay for these offices and office managers because we don't need them anymore. So, you know, like the middle management hate it. They hate it because it means they're not needed anymore. The company I work for figured out very quickly, actually, our staff are happier, productivity is up by 200%. Sicknesses are down by like a ridiculous number. Because if you've got like a bit of a cold in an office, the done thing is to phone and say, I have a bit of a cold, I don't mind coming in, but I don't want to make other people ill. Or they think, oh, I'll be all right, I'll dose up on, Lemsip and other cough syrups and stuff and just, muddle through it. But then they infect several other people in the office who then go on to infect other people in the office and so on and so on and so forth. Until everyone in the office has had the same damn cold. But working from home, you could feel a lot iller, but think, okay, I've got to get through an 8-hour shift. I can do that. As long as I can take a 5-minute break to go blow my nose or whatever and refill my Lemsip cup. Infect absolutely nobody, etc., etc. So, and people will do an extra hour's work because they're not catching a later train or bus or having to drive home an hour later. They're like, well, I'm already home. I'm just going to finish an hour earlier and then go on with the rest of my day. It's quite bizarre. Sorry to go off on a bit of a tangent there, but I see a lot of crap posted about working from home, like somehow people working from home are not working. It's like, yeah, they are. That's why these companies have kept it going. However, they phone an office. Media outlets phone an office, and the person they get to speak to is middle management office manager who's going, oh no, they all need to get back to this office, otherwise they haven't got, their job doesn't really need to be there, does it? Yeah, working from home in my boxes, chain smoking, my cat on my lap while I multi-box 6 tunes in EverQuest. There you go. But did you get all your work done? That's the difference, you see. I love it. I'd never go back to, spending 3 hours of a day getting ready for work, commuting, etc., either end of a shift. That's 6 hours a day people are getting back to spend their lives on more important things like their friends and family. Yeah, the people that want you to return to office are the people that need you to come to an office so that they can keep their job as an office manager. There's no empirical reason that people do more work in an office than they do out of an office. In fact, the reverse is true. So you're fighting against it there, I know. But the truth is the truth. The company I work for kind of see that. They're an international company. They operate in Europe, the US, Australia, the whole globe, basically. And they know damn well that, a lot of what we do is statistical and whatnot because it's insurance-based. That's all I can really tell you about it. But it means that they can look at the data in a very analytical way with a bunch of people who are very good at looking at data and making analyses on it. And they basically turned around and said, people working from home are doing more work than anybody else. It'd be stupid to get rid of it. So, yeah, go work for another company. That's what I'd say. Serena, if your company say no, we're not going to support it, well, they can live in the past if they want. Plenty of other companies are far more forward looking. And are saving a ton of money by not having to pay to keep an office open, insure it, pay for the electricity there, pay for the heating there, pay for the cleaners there, etc., etc. All the costs that come with running a bricks and mortar premises. That's like, you know how retail is on a massive decline and has been for about 15 years, and it's due to, well, they'll go into a big box store, look at several TVs, pick out the one they want, and then walk out the door and look online and buy that model make TV for the cheapest price they can get it. Yeah, it depends how the employment law works in your country/region. like the company I work for, it's a 24/7 operation. So they need people to be, enough people to work all hours of every day, holidays, etc. And because it's work from home, people are much more inclined to do, they can do split shifts on like Christmas. Okay, I'll do Christmas afternoon. You do Christmas morning. Your kids are grown, so Christmas morning is not as big a thing as the big dinner and everything. And so on. And it's just worked out so well. Okay, nothing on that guy. There's 3 random Borg things we need. Yeah, the company I work for is great. I mean, they're really good. They do treat people well. If you're thinking maybe, could maybe I get a job with them, DM me. I'm not going to mix work and, streaming on Twitch, etc. But if you're serious and you're thinking, I want to carry on working from home, the company I work for will pick you up in a heartbeat. Salary may be slightly less, and I mean slightly, but when you factor in the costs of going to work every day, how expensive that actually is in, not just in travel costs, but, having to buy an outfit for the office and all that kind of crap. You don't have to do that. I got to work like I'm dressed now. Doesn't matter. Doesn't affect but how I'm dressed doesn't affect my ability to work, because it's not a like consumer facing role, so to speak. Like say retail, that's consumer customer facing. The role I'm in is not, but I am first. I am like first point of contact for many of the clients, but it's all verbal, it's all ordered. It's verbal. It's me on a microphone speaking to them, so they hear me with a, hopefully what they realise is a high quality microphone. Although I have been told on many occasions, "Oh, you sound like you're on the radio," and I said, "Yeah, I've got a face for radio too," and chuckle. But yeah, no harm, no foul. And then certain meetings, webcams have to be on and stuff like that. But they're like, well, if you work from home, you can be sat there vaping, smoking, etc. Nobody cares. And they're a company in expansion because they are forward looking. So they're not stuck in the past going, oh, we need people in the office. It's no, you don't. No, you don't. We still do like secret Santas and stuff like that. And we chat. We got like a group, whichever team you're a part of. You're all in a team chat together with, with floor managers and stuff like that. And they integrate the floor managers with the out of hours people. And there's loads of back and forth. Between the two, and sometimes it's just, irreverent, sharing memes and jokes and stuff and just dealing with the job and getting on with it and whatnot. And it's just great, It's kind of an ideal situation, really. I count myself quite lucky to be in the job I'm in. Certainly the best job I've had in a very long time. Siljar Russell has returned. So warm. Oh, yeah. I don't know if that's AI or not, but kind of looks real. Might not be real, but it does look real. That's a lot of cats to have on top of you. But yeah, you would be very warm, that's for sure. You know, you think how much cash you spend getting to and from work every day versus just turning up for work at your own desk, at your own computer. I mean, I'm in an ideal situation for the job I do. I'm in an acoustically treated room with a high quality microphone and such. And a great big monitor in front of me, so I just plug the work laptop, go straight into that monitor, and that's it. That's my focus all the time I'm working. That's great. Well, you know, I really like it. I enjoy the work. It's varied and interesting. It does make a difference to people. Yeah, it's pretty good, you know. You're always going to kind of have your, you know, that was a bit of a sticky one, you know, because that's life, but yeah. You're so softly spoken today. You got someone on sleeping behind? No. I'm softly spoken. Am I? I think I sound the same as always, I think. Right, we turn in the bits of cyborg. Here we go. Goodbye. Freelancers Inc. Complete 2 normal daily missions. And in the alien one, mission complete. Creep ever closer to more alien levels. Oh, am I speaking differently than I normally do? Maybe because I'm talking about work. And in work, obviously, I sound a little more professional and you know. Have I heard about Project Rubicon? No, absolutely not. No, I know nothing about a server that's not owned by Funcom at all, whatever. No, because, you know, that might lead you to get sued. I know nothing about it whatsoever. Yeah. Ragnarok. Right, I'm gonna... Because obviously you shouldn't do that. You should not, you know, because you don't own the IP and blah, 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 blah. Yes, you should never do anything like that. Right, I'm going to log in a tune for smugglers that just goes kaboom. Yeah, I'm just mindful that I remember there was the thing with the classic WoW servers, you know, especially when they did that "don't you guys have phones" reveal at BlizzardCon or something, and they wasn't it in that same thing that they said, "Oh, you think you want classic, but you don't," and then they discovered millions of players were playing on an emulated classic server. Or servers. You couldn't run them all on one. It's not like EverQuest or Ultima Online where they don't mind. Yeah, it's slightly different. Funcom can be quite litigious. So, of course, I know nothing about it because, you know, they are... Funcom are aware of me. So, you know... They might look in from time to time, that sort of thing. Follow my Twitter, you know, just... Yeah. General, yeah, with these projects, keep them on the down low. Yeah, basically. Definitely advisable to keep it on the down low. But yeah, as I say, I'm completely unaware of any project that's ongoing or other or was going previously and is now subsequently shut down, or anything else. You know, no idea. But yeah, right, okay. Recruit. There we go. Bijlang Paracast is now following. Thank you for the follow. and I shall get a fresh beer to welcome you in. Just because. Right, I'll be back in a minute. Podcast Storm still around after all these years. No, it's a lie. Yes, it is. More of a retirement home now, though, but if I'm going to be honest. Bunch of old farts playing the game, you know? What GS did we get? GS1. Okay, it could be busy in here then. Yay, got the same playfield. Went through the wrong portal. Somehow. Never seen it before, Governor. Mighty nice weather we're having. You ain't seen me, right? Yeah. Nanos, let's calm you for later on. Camera's out of kilter. There we go. Rav. Yeah, Storm is still around. It is pretty quiet in Storm, I've got to be honest. Well, that's what you get after, 24 years is, the guys that were in their 20s back in 2001 and to 2004 are now in their 40s with jobs and mortgages and kids and bills, you know what I mean? It's just, life just changes, doesn't it? It's nice to see an old, now and again, an old face will log in and go, oh, guys, I haven't seen you for ages. It's like a little retirement home. And then we spend, the rest of the time just oh, do you remember when you did it? And thing happened and that happened. Yeah, it's great. I remember when Storm Carb Armor was introduced. Yeah. 335 local camouflage. What was the other one? There was a few, wasn't there? They were all named after the very the more populous guilds at the time. Was there 2 Nano Mantis in here when we just ran through, or am I imagining that? Was it 1 in this and 2 in the other, maybe? Oh, this was the cave with 2 in it. Okay. Yeah, I remember Storm Carb. Who was it built it first? Because you had to make it. You couldn't just have it. We were quite made up with that, I remember. And I remember the very early days of AO. One of the largest guilds clan side was called Opposing Force. Only nobody knew anybody, and they never did anything, but everyone was in the guild. It was nuts. See, I could run around and do all this on the bow MA, but you know what? I don't like this playfield. So if I can do it quickly with a high level character, I will. I did the other 2, you know, the diggers and Den Loot controller missions in here. I did those solo mostly. But then this one is like, nope. I think I'm just gonna blitz through it with this guy, especially when, you know, you got AFKers in here and stuff like that. AFKers are players that are botted to attack anything that spawns if it's aggressive to them, and then just park them in a room in here. You did see it was this group that were in here for weeks. About 3 weeks they were in here. Griever, I turned 27 yesterday. Yeah, you wouldn't have played back in the day. You'd have still been drinking milk. As in mother's milk, but yeah. Or maybe not, you'd be 2 years old when I started playing this game. I was only slightly older than you when I started playing. I was 32 when the game launched. Imagine that. That's how long I've been playing. Almost your whole life. What's wrong with me? The thing was, 10 years before AO, almost no one had a computer in the house. Think about that. 10 years before AO, 1991, only like serious nerds had a computer. I only got into computers, or got back into computers, because they started becoming part of the music industry. And they were in studios and stuff, and you're like, oh, yeah, this is a lot easier to edit than doing it with tape. You know, so you wouldn't go back to splicing tape after doing it digitally once. You just wouldn't. You know? Like Windows, you weren't even on Windows 3.1 10 years before AO launched, and we went from that to, you know, where we are in 2001 with Pentium processors, stuff like that. And come 2002, you know, a 1 gig processor was like fairly common for a gaming PC. DOS 5.0 or something. Yeah, it would have been, yeah. I was quite good with DOS. I did completed it was a Star Wars game, but you had to reboot the computer in DOS and load it that way. Was it TIE Fighter or something? I think that's dead. It is dead. So we missed the Queen. 23 minutes. Is it worth hanging around to see? Mathematica, welcome to the stream. Changing your auto exec back. I installed Windows 95 with about 20-30 floppy disks. It took like an entire day and an evening to do. I mean, like from first thing in the morning till about 10 o'clock at night. And then we heard, oh, they're going to release it on CD. Not DVD, CD. Yeah, just delete config sys. Everything will be fine. Yeah, I don't miss that. No, I think, like I look at the system I've got now, and for the Twitch chat, it's this. Can you imagine having that system then? How quickly it could do everything. Although, let's face it, nearly none of it would run. You know, because there wouldn't be any drivers for half of it and whatnot. But yeah. But yeah, can you think of what you could do then versus what computers can do now? Yeah, and emails was, like the extent of what most office workers understood about computers. It was and word processors were a thing. Do you remember them? Not a software package on a computer, but an actual box, like a glorified electronic typer, a typewriter. I remember the old connectors, VGA. AT and PS2 and serial port, DB9 for this one, DB25 for the printer, and to a C36 connector for the printer itself, and oh god. And now we're like, yeah, just USB, or it's either USB or it's wireless or it's both, so it's just so accessible and easy now. Yeah, I remember having a 286, and it could do stuff, but a lot of music stuff it couldn't do in real time. But it could do a lot of stuff, though. The math co-processor separately on one of the 486. Yeah, that's right, yeah. Stuff on riser cards. You remember the Pentium 2, Pentium... Was it Pentium 2 or Pentium... Yeah, Pentium 2 and 3 came on their own card, which went in like a big long slot, like a PCIe slot, only it was longer than that, with its own kind of cooler. So you had your motherboard and your CPU went in it like that. It was pretty wild. A single core, right? Single core, and the memory controller was on the motherboard, so the quality of the motherboard was like really important. You're running missions for what levels? The ZIF socket, yeah. Was it called that? It was the Pentium 2, wasn't there? Pentium II. Yeah, there you go. It came like that. In its own little box with a heatsink and fan. Pentium 2 and a Pentium 3. I'm sure I started AO with a Pentium 3. And I'm pretty sure I took the whole casing off it and put a big heatsink on it so I could overclock it. Zero into yeah, it was soldered to this board. Is that a motherboard that supports it? Oh no, it's not. Yeah, dual processor board. Processor 1, processor 2. You get the Xeons stacked like that high for the onboard cache and stuff. Oh my god, yeah, I remember those days. And everything looked like that. No intake, no airflow wasn't a thing in those days. That's all I can say. When was it? It was the Pentium. It wasn't until like the Pentium 4 that came out that we went back to putting CPUs into sockets. On the Pentium 4... Yeah, it was a single core though, wasn't it? We went from that to the Pentium Duo, I think. Pentium Duo, there you go. And it was 2-core. Like 100 megahertz, the original Pentiums. You could overclock them to 122 or something though. Can a Pentium 2 run Windows 10? That's a challenge. It might run it, but why would you do that? Oh my god. Yeah, the Core Duo, yeah. Did it run? No, from dual core brand ran from 2006 until 2009. No, they'd moved on by then. I had AMD's, the original ones, you know, the socket A. Hyperthreading? When did hyperthreading come in? That's a good question. Hyperthreading, yeah, it came in fairly early. Hyperthreading technology was Intel's proprietary thing. 2002 on a Xeon, yeah, Pentium 4 desktop processors. Excuse me. Yeah, I didn't have one of those. I was like AMD, and then I got a I think it was an i3780, I think was my old processor. Was it? That was the old computer. That was my old computer that I had, like, I built in 2012. A 4-core 8-thread thing that ran at something, yeah, like 4.4 gigahertz or something. That was pretty good, and I had it on an X79 platform. Yeah, the X79, I had one of those. Still have one. It still works. Mrs. Callis 2 uses it. Mine was massive though. It was way bigger than that. Yeah, it had the 2 twin lever. It had 4 sockets this side, 4 sockets that side. PCIe. It still had PCI on it as well. It was an Asus one I had. It still works, and Mrs. Callis 2 runs it to this day. Deidrak, welcome to the stream. Good to see you. I'm thinking this ain't gonna spawn, so let's go back. I go pop them into Shadowlands, and then for this character I'm going to delete the Mantis Queen bit of this mission. It's still, we only need one more normal daily, so I'm going to run to Penumbra. Try and get me a Doja. I'll leave team for now. I don't need much more XP, I know that. Yeah, Xeons had slightly lower clock speed but had more onboard cache, so they could they literally would operate instructions more quickly because of that. It was a weird setup. They were like they were classed as non-consumer, but a lot of consumers picked them up. Pentium 2 Xeon 400 megahertz processor, primarily, yeah, nearly $2,000. The 450 version was, yeah, exactly. Yeah, I had Athlon XP. I had one of those. I remember I played AO with that. But I started off, I had a Pentium 3 overclocked to 500 megahertz. Playing AO with like 197 or 196 megabytes of RAM. Megabytes, not gigs. Megabytes of RAM. Oh, yeah, yeah. Like proper old school PC. Before, I had a GeForce 2. 64 megabit card as well, which I thought was really spiffy and cool. Then I had a GeForce 3, which did stereoscopic with the glasses and the wire. I remember having that. Then shortly after that, I think I had a GeForce 4. Then I had a Radeon 980 XT or something like that. 128 megabit, 128 megabit of memory. I can't remember what I got after that. A 260 or something. Yeah, they were pretty. I had like mid to low end gear in my PC most of the time and just overclock the snot out of it. You know, that's how I used to do it. And then since 2012, I pretty much, like when I built the computer in 2012, I had a 6080 and I made the mistake of buying the 2 gigabyte version instead of the 4 gigabyte variant. I wish I'd have got the 4 gigabyte variant. And I played with that up until 2018, 2019, and someone gifted me. When did the 1080 come out? The NVIDIA 1080 Ti. When did that come out? Because around that time, someone gifted me their old 980 because they'd bought a 1080 Ti and said, and on YouTube of all places, said, I've been watching your videos for years, and I've noticed I've been watching your Skyrim playthrough and you keep mentioning you wish you had more VRAM so you could load more texture mods and stuff. Do you want my old 980? It's got 4 gigabyte. I was like, oh hell yeah. And I had the 980 and I had that up until 2020, God, I don't know, 2021-ish? 2022 maybe? And I got a 3060. Still on that, I think it was a 3820 CPU I had, actually. 2017, yeah, so it was around then, 2017, I got the 980, and I was so much better than the 680. I was mucking around with things like different SLI, where you could run a 670 and a 680 together in SLI with a driver tweak. And I made a video about that, actually. And I still get comments on it going, can I run a 1060 and a 2080? I'm like, well, no. You've got to be generationally the same. Otherwise, it doesn't work. And, you know. It doesn't work with anything 3000 series onwards either, because that's kind of when SLI died, essentially. I've had a couple of SLI rigs. I mean, I had one with 2 GTX 260s. They're big, long cards as well, but they work together. And, you know, for Crisis and things like that, they were pretty good. No, well, you can force it to use 2 different memory sizes, but it will ignore the, let's say one's a 4 gig and one's a 2 gig. It would ignore the card having 4 gig and only use 2 gig of its memory. So it had limitations if you did it. What was it? Yeah, different SLI. So yeah, there's a monumentally long forum post over on Tech Power Up about it, and then I did a video. Benchy test, that's not it. CSU, that's not it. Yeah, I made a video about it. Yeah, there you go.
Hi all, and welcome to the video. What if I told you you can use 2 different NVIDIA cards in SLI? Right, so to cut a long story
you can tell I'm in my living room with the echoey room. But yeah, so the whole video is that, how you do it, the driver trick, and then
the no load at the minute. Use is pretty high. We're into the sort of 70-80 area, which is kind of to be expected. If I move around, because of the YouTube compression, you will get artifacting, but there's not a lot I can do about that. In game, obviously, there isn't any. Now, I can run around and I pretty much stay at 60 frames a second. It's...
Yep, there you go. That's going back a long time ago. Yeah, I'm not sure if the different memory thing works, but when it does, yeah, you have to forego the extra memory on one of the cards. But hang on to your older graphics cards, guys, because if you buy a 50 series NVIDIA card, it doesn't support PhysX 32-bit. So if you're playing Arkham Asylum or Gotham, it runs like shit on a 5090 because it no longer supports the PhysX part of the game. Yeah, but if you plug in any old, you know, 5080 graphics card, doesn't even need a power connector, it will run the PhysX for you. You know, you just do it in the NVIDIA control panel and it works, and it runs it at like 10 times the frame rate or something. I'm getting another beer. I remember when you could just buy a PhysX card. Yes, you could. Yeah, I remember the name of the processor I had. It was a i7 3820 is the one I had. Yeah, that's the CPU I had for years, like over 10 years. Leogra 3. So it was only on 32 nanometer, 4-core, 8-thread. Supposedly runs at 4.8, but had a multiplier that went to 4.3. If you just type 4.3 in the BIOS, it did it. End of servicing updates 2019, so it carried on. I've got DDR3 up to 1600. PCIe 2.0. So it was like, yeah, it wasn't that great. But then again, it lasted a hell of a long time. Did a lot of great stuff on that CPU. Had that CPU until I got this 13th gen. So from 2012 until, well, it was more than 10 years. It was like, when, oh my god, wait. Let's fix it. My god, Penumbra. Oh, thank God for that. Yeah, the, you know, so it for a 4-core, 8-thread CPU, it did well. 2012 until, when did I buy this CPU? Yeah, I think this was 2022. I bought this CPU not long after they came out. I was even thinking of getting a 12900K at the time, depending on the costs and stuff like that. But then there was like a Black Friday deal, and I got the 13700K for quite a bit cheaper. So I was like, yeah, I'm getting that one. And thankfully, I've been very lucky in when I got it. I switched the motherboard to enforce all limits until, you know, I got used to it and its temperatures and its whatever it does. And avoided the you're going to melt your own CPU. Pen Quest. No, I'm just after a Doja at the minute. But yes, that will be happening eventually. No, I don't want you. Go away. I will come and do the Penumbra quest at some point, but for the now, I just want the Doja, and then I'm probably going to finish off the Sheol quest, you know. There's one of the mob. That's a mob I need, possibly. I mean, this system just runs everything I throw at it on max settings, and it's fine. I love it. You know, and I'm well aware that in 10 years it'll be a piece of crap, but there you go. But I see no point in upgrading for a good long time yet. At least 5 years. At least. Graphics card, maybe. It depends. The 50 series, I'm giving it a miss. The shortages, the price scalping, the lack of availability, etc., etc. Just a laundry list of problems with that card release. And the claims about how much better it is than the 40 series, it's bollocks. You know, having 4 extra generated frames versus rendered frames. No, because your input latency is still massive when you do that. If you're running the game with no frame gen at 30 FPS, switching on frame gen just to get an extra 4 frames from that does not make... I mean, yeah, the frame counter goes up, but your latency is horrible. So it just doesn't interest me. Ooh, 195. Okay, let's reset aggro, get back up on the concrete, or whatever this is made of. There we go. Yeah, the battle music in Shadowlands, it is different, yeah, it is. I don't want a frozen rafter, they don't drop a doja. A lot of people still think they do and kill them, and I'm like, doesn't drop any, mate. Picked up a spare. I'm gonna get aggroed by... Oh my god, yeah, even the unredeemed don't like me. I didn't think I had that much faction yet. I was trying to keep my faction fairly neutral until, you know, 201 when you actually need, or 200 when you actually need your faction. The Sector 7 boat. Yeah, it's the one from the Alien playfield, yeah. It's pretty good. It makes that... Sounds like you're firing off a nano more than you're shooting a bow. But it's pretty good. I mean, if you took the level requirement off it, oh my god, it would be so overpowered. It would be it'd just be nuts, because you'd have Temple Twinks using it, or any Sector 7 weapon, because it's like main stat 700, subsidiary stat 350. You can do that on a Temple Twink. Even if you might be slightly OE. On a trader you wouldn't be, you'd just drain into it, but oh my god. It'd be so overpowered. Got the rando ad. Because they're similar NPCs. They're both Tiggers. Yeah, the outdoor music in Shadowlands is different, but you know what? The indoor music is the same as Rubicar. Which I always thought was a little odd, but it is. Well, you take the 151 level requirement off the bow, take away the no drop, and every twink in the game would be using one. Jolly Storm, lurk, and welcome to the stream. Thank you for the lurk. First time in Shadowlands, I was actually afraid. Yep. Me too. I was in the Shadowlands beta. And some of the damage the mobs could do was kinda scary. There's a mob in Nascence, like a spider kind of a NPC. He's invisible until he attacks you, unless you've got enough perception to see him. And he wanders around. And on the beta server, we all like 20 of us or something, all like, yeah, if we all team up, we can get him. If there's 20 of us, we're just going to get him. And he wiped the floor with us. I mean, literally obliterated us. Any ideas behind them? I think initially, I think the idea for them shifted after they were made. I think they thought, oh, this would be a great weapon for mid-level players, and then they realised that low-level players have the ingenuity to equip one. So they put them only available from a level-locked region of the game, put a no-drop tag on it, and then, just to make sure, put level 151 on it. It's all artificial. I mean, to equip this bow, it's a piece of cake. I mean, there you go. 700 bow, 350 fling shot. You're telling me you can't do that on an MA twink at level 60? Of course you could. If you had the imagination to do it, you would do it. OG Senpai Blub, redeemed hydrate. You're very good health. We'll try Frosty Rafters, who do have a drop chance of a doja. The others don't, I notice. No, they don't. Yeah, Siljar said I sounded... I was speaking softly. I wondered if maybe the microphone was... The preamp wasn't right. I'm going to check that now. Okay, I've reset the preamp, so hopefully. D-Drac with check posture. Okay. Posture is comfortable. Thank you. Alright, let's pull one of these dudes. Oh, the microphone was a little bit off angle. Maybe that was it. I don't know. Or maybe I am speaking more softly. I don't know. I can't think what the spider's name is in Nascent, but yeah. He gonna get you. He will kick your bottom. Yes, he will. H-Wall, yeah, or Hawal, or I don't know how you even say it out loud, but yeah, that guy. Yeah, god damn. You meet him at like level 20 or something, you're going to the reclaim, you know. That's another thing. Back then, you still had the reclaim. What about back when you could start in Eli? Well, you've never been able to like create a new character in Eli, but you could get to Eli if you had the credits instantly. Yeah. Yeah, Nascence. Yeah, you'd start in the Joe backyard. I wish you could still. Well, technically, you can blag your way in, but it's using the stuck command to teleport yourself to the footpath. You're not supposed to be able to do it, but you can apparently. And I got teleported in there by Space Quest plenty of times during the alien events, just for coming up with new and interesting ways to kill my character. I'll spawn 1 million seekers in the backyard because there's no one there, and yeah, die a lot very quickly. I think Noob Island. Yay for Doja! I think Noob Island and Shadowlands starter area should still be a thing. I think they should still be a thing. Right, let's use the beacon. I think you should be given the choice. You know, I think it should be a choice, not, oh no, everyone starts in Elite. It's like, well, yeah, there's more pickups in Elite that are useful, like the armor, the nanos, and so forth. And it glosses over some of the game mechanics, and it is better in that respect. But in terms of like overall vibe, the old starter area was better. I'm sorry, it was. I've still got a character logged in there, by the way, in the old Noob Island. I don't have one logged in to the Shadowlands area because all my paid characters have leveled out there. But yeah, it would have been nice. I hoped they were going to do that with the 2019 server when they said it was a progression server. I was like, oh, we're going to get to go to the old starting area. And they were like, no. And to this day, if you make a character there, you don't get a reet. You get the original backyard, and that's it. So you don't even get to make the braces and stuff. Right, that's freelancers done. Yeah, you can. Well, yeah, you can still do that in on the 2019 server. If you make a new character there, you still go into the welcome hall and talk to NPCs, then pick a faction. Tencent don't do anything with their games. They're an investment company, not a game developer company. People seem to have this miscomprehension that they develop games or influence their development in any way. They don't. They're an investment company. That's it. Does product make money? Good. We give it shareholders. That's it. That's Tencent's input on everything and anything. Well, correlation is not causation. OG senpai blub. So most games have gone downhill regardless of who owns them. You know, if you do a course in statistics, you'll learn correlation and causation are not the same thing. Although we assume they are because of quite often they are, but they're not always. But yeah, Tencent don't give a shit. They really don't. They're just like, does the company we bought shares in, is it making the money? Good. Is it not making the money? Bad. But beyond that, they don't care. They really don't. They don't influence a game's development in so much as, oh, you should do more of this or less of that. No, they don't. They never have. And I think there is the misconception that when they buy shares in a company, they're running it from that point onwards. They're kind of not. You know, they don't really care. You know, I mean, to them, they invest in much more than just companies that make games. It's just that the people are aware of the company who play games because they've bought companies that make games they play. But yeah, they're not perhaps what people think they are. You know, they don't sort of dictate development or anything like that. So if the June game is a flop, and I'm not saying it will be, I'm saying, but if it is, and it, you know, it's every possibility people just don't like it. They might say something, but they're not concerned whether people liked it or not. They're just concerned whether or not it made money. You know, that's it. That's the end all be all as far as they're concerned. the games they bought went downhill is not necessarily... It's correlation, but it's not causation. Just because they bought into that company, maybe that company was in trouble, it was hemorrhaging talent, so it took the investment for Tencent. So the correlation is Tencent buy, company's product goes downhill, but they're not the cause. The fact that they got involved is incidental. It's just the company said, oh, we need to float asset, so we're going to take a big investment from this company in the shares, so we can keep the company running, basically. So yeah, it's correlation and does not equal causation. Good phrase to understand, because quite often it is. It's like we used to assume that correlation meant causation, but then you've got the episode of TNG where, although the civilization that Data lands on is, quite logical and scientific in its approach, it's all correlation without looking further into causation. So you get situations where they go, well, you're super strong because you must have come from the mountains where it's necessary for you to grow strong, Data. Do you remember that episode? The anvil drops on the guy's leg and he just goes, weak, and just lifts it because, well, he's Data, he's an android, he can lift, vastly more than a human being could. Oh, and he's got a grey skin because he's from the snowy mountains. That's all thinking correlation is causation, okay? It's not always. Sometimes it is. Sometimes I am wet. Oh, I've pissed my pants. Yeah, but maybe you spilled your coffee, so... Yeah, it's that sort of... I did not watch Star Trek. Well, you lost out. There's plenty of time. It's on Netflix. It's on Paramount. You can still enjoy it. It's correlation versus causation is... okay, there's loads of very funny charts about that, where you can look at correlation versus causation. So there's some funny charts. Spurious correlation. So here we go. Bachelor's degrees awarded in psychology, the number of groundskeepers in Utah. Look how closely they're matched. Popularity of the first name Caroline, Newmont's stock price. So we need to name more people Caroline to save the stock of Newmont. It's correlation, but it's not causation, right? Google searches for zombie directly relates to the number of real estate agents in North Dakota. It's a zombie invasion in North Dakota. They're all zombies. Right? So, the distance between Neptune and Mercury, so one of the innermost planets and the outermost planet, petroleum consumption in Azerbaijan. Popularity of the press, F to pay respects meme, Boeing's stock price. Everyone, we need to press F. We need to press it faster. More Fs in the chat for Boeing. How provocative Matt Parker's YouTube video titles are. Value of Victoria's Secret's annual fantasy bra. Can't you see the correlation? Yearly gross income of US farms versus Google searches for who is the doctor. Correlation, not causation. Popularity of the first name Monica, marriage rate in Nevada. Guess people just watched Friends and went into Monica. Grand Slam finals played by Roger Federer the number of electronics engineers in New Mexico. Look, obviously they correlate. They must be causing each other. Number of breweries in the United States versus Amazon's stock price. Clearly related, you know, because look, it correlates. So there's the correlation, but where's the connection? Yeah, that's what it's about. So, yeah, the first thing you learn in statistical data is correlation is not causation. Because there's some funny examples, but people take ones that aren't amusing and still come up with the same thing. Right, I'm getting another beer. There's ones there like how fat Brad Pitt is versus the stock price of, I don't know, whale blubber in somewhere else. And they all, like, the charts match, but come on. William Shatner is going to be at an anime convention near me. William Shatner in anime? Is that a thing? Has he done any anime? Is he just like, I'll go to any convention, just pay me $500 for the signature or whatever? I don't know. Find the one who never stops looking. Right, we're doing it. We want more XP. And I want the nano from this quest line, so here we go. He's gone there for the past 5-6 years. Yeah, well, William Shatner, I mean, God, I've never known a guy as sharp and, you know, at the age he is. That's incredible. It's almost superhuman how active his brain still seems to be, given his age. I mean, the people try and troll him on Twitter. It's just like rips him to shreds. And he does it so, like that, you know, it's so quick as well. It's crazy. Right, the game keeps crashing when I'm zoning and tabbing out. Playing borderless window mode. . Map crashes. Update to the latest Savix map 3.3. Yeah, that's an issue with Savick explained it to me, but I didn't understand what Savick said. And she basically said, yeah, it's to do with a memory leak relating to the map and how it was originated. But if you get her version 3 for Rubicar, etc., or Bitnik's latest Shadowlands map, problem goes away with the map. Because what they've done is, you know, like you've got the zoom layers. Every time you change the zoom layer, it loads a new map and flushes the memory. Is the workaround for the issue, but it does fix it. And then if Savick is watching but not sort of speaking in the chat and wants to correct me, please do, because I may have misunderstood what you told me, because I don't understand what it is that you do when you make a map. But yeah, it was something like that. It was to do with some sort of memory leak, and Savick figured it out and fixed it. Again. She fixed the shit map you get from Funcom, and Funcom went, that's a better map than we make, let's add it to the game. But it was quite a long time ago that happened, and, you know, Savick has refined and updated that map several times. So if you Google Savick's map, yeah, 3.3 was the last version. There you go. So she fixed a bunch of new stuff in new play areas. If you're playing at above 1080p, you probably want the ×2 size. She fixed a lot of the detailed stuff. She's done loads of work on it. Yeah, I mean, Savick's just awesome. And I think there's a download. Yeah, so on AO Universe, there you go. So you want Bitnik's Shadowlands map and Savick's map of Rubicar. And if you want to know how to install a map, I've got a couple of videos for that. Where's the dude I'm looking for? Oh, I think we've already done the stories, guys. Oh, we're doing the doggo mission, as I call it, with the collars. I think that was the next one on this quest line. Yeah, if you're getting crashes because of the map, when you open it, close it, whatever, yeah, get Savick's later map. Like, if you look at mine, click on the select map. So Atlas, no, I've got, when in Shadowlands, I use the wide. I can't show you what it is on Rubicar because I'm not on Rubicar. And you can't open the Rubicar map in Shadowlands and vice versa, so. Okay, the shimmers are vicious, whatever, blah, 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 blah. Come on. Right, okay, so we're going to go to the other Yutto, show them the tooth. They're going to give me a collar. I go get a doggo, run back, wait till the doggo changes, click it, run and do that, and rinse and repeat 3 or 4 times, I think. Oh God, they crashed already. I mean, the old client crash every 5 minutes is odd, especially on an Nvidia card. So, trying to help a guildie out. What's that noise coming from? Oh yeah, I've still got this guy logged in. Okay, let's log him off. Uh-huh. Right, talk to the Utto. Excuse me. What is it? Proof he sent me. Here's a tooth or something. Excuse me. Can I have the lists then? Okay, what do you want me to do? Yep. Goodbye. Alright, so we get the collar. We run up the hill, down the hill, up the hill, down the hill. Oh, the quest design is so good. No, it's basically fetch quest times 4 for this. God, I hate this quest line. But there you are. Hey, Sickly Shimmerer. Open dialogue. Here, little fella. Trade the collar. He runs back very slowly. I keep searching for a reason to come back to AO. I play it because I enjoy it. I can't make anybody else feel that way, you know, so. I can't convince a person to like chocolate cake if they don't like chocolate cake, you know? Here's the first one. So picked up. And we go get another. Yeah, it's a very boring base quest, this. It really is. Right, clicky. Turns its head away. Oh, come on. What? What if I click this on you? Hey there, little oh, now it works. Okay. Not only is it a crap quest line, it's also broken. Oh, God. Yeah, if Anarchy Online, the game itself, doesn't keep you interested, there's nothing I can do or say that's going to change that. But it keeps my interest, so... Here's the second one. Got that? Are you going to make me go again? I think you are. Okay. No, I need sicklies, not exhausteds. Well, let's see if this guy works or we have to run even further. Okay, that guy's broken. Let's go find a different one. No reason why it would be, but it is. Hey there, little fella. Here is the collar. Rinse and repeat. We gotta wait till it actually gets here. This is such a shit quest. Honestly, it's following. It's coming. It's here. Fix it. Nah. I just used the collar, you stupid yutto bint. Drawden, welcome to the stream. What is up with the Newland City Waste Management stream? It's just a character logged in that's not actually doing anything. Oh, yeah. Here's the third one. There we go. We got there eventually. Ding! Yeah, it's been a thing for quite a while. It's just someone logs a character in, doesn't play them, doesn't talk to chat or anything, just streams what the character can see. It's a little odd. But, you know, I suppose it's promoting AO, so it's cool. Right, run back to the first Yutto after all that malarkey. Has to be the most gloomy, awful, bloody playfield ever. And the problem is that the way they designed it and the way the skybox works means that light never shines into where the players are. which is stupid. Don't get me wrong, I love AO, but I still complain about parts of it. If you've ever watched me do this Sheol questline on any of the Let's Plays, you know how much I hate it. Shadows in Shadowlands, yeah, it's just murky, gloomy, horrible, and it has the potential, you know, for a few minutes a day to actually be like a staggeringly beautiful zone. But they just dropped the ball with it and never fixed it. You know, you come here at the right time of day, it looks amazing. You know, light streaming in from the top of the canyon to the bottom and yada yada. It just looks awesome. Do I need to do... Yeah, okay. What we got now? Find the one who fears corruption, right? And then we do the gonna fall off. You know you're gonna fall off path. Yeah, that's the one. But it gets us the better bow nano, so I suppose it's worth it. I mean, I've tried everything. I mean, you go into the lighting engine. Global, does nothing. Rubicar light, slightly warmer, but that's it. It's just, all the light is just obscured. It's so annoying. Light will reset once I get down to lower Sheol, which is also murky and dark and crap. And yet could be amazing, but it's not. Yeah, and then you go to Penumbra and your eyeball, your retinas get burned. Yeah, the lighting and the new engine are just... Yeah, we have to fix them for ourselves. I have tried to use RTX Remix, but it will not accept the file system in AO. So there's nothing... I can't fix that. Well, it could be fixable, but I don't know a way to do it. But there you go. Yeah, so everything's also grey, gloomy, has no shadows, has no light source, etc. Except maybe that guy, because he's wearing one. Alright, okay. Something wrong? I can see the signs, they are all over. Correlation is not causation. Calm down. Yes, it's all happening over again. And then we've got to tag a bunch of mobs along a windy path and try not to fall off. Which is quite easily done, believe you me. Goodbye. Right, okay, so... run down here and we want to get the Brink Nightmares. Find Naxos. So we go through Greek legend names. But look how grey and bleak and bleh everything is. It's horrible. You know, while we're here, let's get a video. Yeah, and, you know, screw you guys. We're going to have a bit of lighter screen. Only fell off a few times over the years. Oh, I've fallen off loads. I will not be in the least bit surprised if I fall off again, but there we are. By a few, I mean I lost count. Yeah, exactly. Especially when we had crapper internet and, you know, you'd lag and just go, doink, you're on Rubicon now, son. Right, here we go. Pause every angle change. Never this. Are you one? No, you're not one. Tab, 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 tab. Whiplash was real. Yep, exactly. No, you're not one either. I'm not sure if they're part of any quest line or something. I don't know. So we wait, run, wait, run. And this could have been such an amazingly interesting quest. Making us run over this garbage. Yup. Right, who do we want? Naxos. Okay. Me. Naxos. Me. Naxos. We're waiting. How much do you want me to target him? Okay, let's run past. The sniffers, I think, is the next one. I can't be arsed with any of you. Just pick up the fact I've tabbed him. Levius. Sniffers. No, I can't remember if we go through... Go away. Da da da. Yeah, I think we go down. Was he asleep on the job, or was he one of those fake ones? I don't know. That was Kaimus. We now want Mykonos, which is an island. Okay, is Mykonos this guy? Mykonos. Done. Kefaliona. It's not you, but I don't think we go through there. I think we go down. Kefaliona. Me. Kefaliona. Come on, game. Catch up. The you've targeted them bit doesn't really work, does it? Yep, it worked then. Okay. Go down again. Island horrors. Okay, I think... Do we go across? This feels like where we've just come from. Yeah, it is. That's Mykonos. Okay, so we go down again. Or do we? Do we go through? Let's try going through. Island horror, island horror. Nope, ain't those guys. So I guess we're going down. Kafalos. This is the Sheol Yotto's quest. Yeah, there's nowhere else to go here except down. So, going down. Who do we want next? Poros. Okay. Never remember the entire route. Poros. Okay, we got him. The tab mission is over. Fucking hell, they hit hard. Right. I don't think there's any more mobs for the rest of it. And then you go through some of the most amazing geometry in the game. You know? It's amazing. But it's also... Oh, God, I'm stuck. Do not be stuck. There we go. Yeah, so you got these, like, temples that have fallen over kind of deal going. It's really cool. But yeah. Yeah, if you don't remember this, you've not done Sheol Yutto's quest. Knowledge of the Yutto's quest, because this is always part of it, whatever you do. And you do get like a mid-range nano from it. Uh-oh. See, did that look like I fell off to you? Because it did not look like I fell off to me. It looked like I was in the middle of the rock. Never mind. You all saw that, right? 1 minute I'm in the middle of the path, and then I'm not. Yes, you desynced the stream lag. Oh, did it? The stream lagged as well. Oh, there you go. Right, well, we're going to run back to where we were going. I think we go back to the one who fears corruption. Now we go back to Job and then run the rest of the way. On my screen, I fell off while I wasn't running and stood in the middle of a big piece of rock, but apparently not. Yeah, if the stream lagged as well, it just could be interweb traffic or something. I don't know. It's a long ass way to run from here, though. Oh well, it is what it is. Right, I've still got the buff, so I'm just running through. Or not. Depends what mood the game is in. Oh, 4 Fists of Kali is running out. As is my crit buff. There we go. My Abbey, I'm a little sad they removed all the flavour from the Job NPCs. I remember seeing it for the first time when I was shown AO back in the day and thought it was so cool. Yeah, I mean, the NPCs are still there in the game, but they're not in the same places and they don't have the same impact. caps. Have there been any updates? Yes. To the dungeons, yeah. We got Pyramid of Home. We got Temple of the Three Winds 201 dungeon. We got the Subway 201 dungeon. You vaguely remember myself, Savik, and Mihalik speculating that the next dungeon they should do is Foreman's, but it was never kind of like announced. You ask a question, get an ad break. Oh god. Yeah, so the Foreman's thing was, it was kind of a speculation between myself, Mihalik, and Savik about what they may be working on, but never came to fruition, so it was nothing Funcom ever said. It was us saying, well, they've done this dungeon, the next logical dungeon to do would be Foreman's, but yeah. Which is not the same thing as confirmation that they're doing it. Those the high-level versions of those dungeons, though, were super cool. Oh, it's been shelved since 2017. I think Funcom wanted to shut it down, but weren't allowed to because of their entanglement with the Norwegian government owning part of the company, meaning, or part of the Anarchy Online IP. They can't shut it down. I think they would have done in 2017 had that not been the case, though. Well, the new well, you can. It's still there. It's gone nowhere, and you can always join a raid group and go do it. I would say of the Subway, though, you might be misled into thinking, oh, well, it's a low-level dungeon to begin with, so I should be fine in there at 201 and 203. I'm like, you want to go in there at 215 plus with some good gear, or you're going to get your ass handed to you. Because that's what the Subway's like. Temple of the Three Winds, a little bit easier, but not by much. And the Pyramid of Home dungeon is, yeah, that's again 215. Yeah, Norway, yeah, they took some kind of grant or loan or some such thing the government was doing that meant that they were forever entangled with the Norwegian government. You know, so. But I think if they had no outside influence, they would have probably shut the servers down in 2017. What they did instead was piggyback the AO servers on Conan Exiles, or what was the first couple of Conan games? I don't know, because I don't care to play them. But yeah, one of the first ones, that's where they put it. That's what, you know, that's the server you're playing on. It doesn't have a dedicated server anymore. Age of Conan, yeah, that's the game server that we play on. We're piggybacking on their server. The MMO one, yeah, that's it. I mean, if If AO was still running on, you could have made it amazing. Yeah. Well, this is it. Funcom's always been the same. They make one thing, and everything's about the thing they've made, and then they make a new thing, and they utterly forget anything they worked on before. It doesn't matter. They're on the new thing now, and that's what we're focusing on, and that's the new thing. And if you're not into the new thing, then it's your problem. I don't know. They seem to have this blind spot for the good things they've made. Funcom is the king of having a great concept and flubbing the execution or not maintaining what's already there. Yeah, pretty much. I can't disagree with that statement. I mean, they dumped AO and Secret World as soon as they were working on the Lego game. Do you remember they made a Lego game? Where is it now? Yeah, it was a complete flop. People didn't like it, unfortunately. But they were all, oh, the new game is the new thing, and blah, 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 blah. You know, they utterly forgot. Garbage Lego game. Yeah, how can you get Lego wrong? All the Lego games are great. Because Lego's cool, right? Anyway. I'm getting another beer. I don't care. There. Yeah, Funcom's Lego game. What the hell was it? Oh, I already had a window open. Okay. Games. Yeah, what the fluff was it? Oh, is it still on their site? I can't believe that. Oh, even we get a bigger poster for that, but they did. They made a Lego game. What the hell was the game they made? Is this? Oh, it's the same shit. It's like they buried it. Made trash with Lego. I should Lego mini fit. No. All right, maybe we do Lego games list. Okay, list of video games made by Lego. It was like 2000s, early 2000s. No, it wasn't Bionicle. They made one. What the hell was it? Was it as late as that? I don't think it was. Oh my god, I mean, Wikipedia'd into lying, but I'm not. I remember it. I remember all Lego games on IMBD. The original trilogy. I think it's earlier than that. Oh, we're going forward. Okay. Lego Batman, no. India, no. Complete Saga, no. Lego, no. Where the fuck is it? 2014. It was 2014. Lego Miniatures Online. Was that it? Was that the one? (2013, 12, 13). Lego The Hobbit, Lego Jurassic World. It skips it. It doesn't even tell you it exists. Oh my god. It's like they've tried to bury it and succeeded. Lego Game 2014. Let's have a look. Lego Minifigures Online. Is that the one? You tried to hide your shitty game, but we found it. Lego Minifigures Online was an MMO developed and published by Funcom, was released 29th of June 2005. The game is based on the Lego minifigures theme, allowing the player to unlock and play as various characters in the theme, while also blah, 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 blah. They were promoting the snot out of this. Yeah, so look how hard they worked to hide the fact that this game existed. Oh my god. What can you do? Just because Google doesn't pull the first answer doesn't mean it didn't happen. But there you go. Right, what are we doing now? We are learning about the Overseer. Okay, we're going to talk to the guy across the bridge. And I think then we got to kill the thing with the barker. I'm just going to log a 220 and nuke the snot out of it, I think. Yeah. So it went down like a lead balloon. But you see how difficult that was to pull out. If you go to their site, not there. I will help. There we go. Right, I think we've got to kill the big red tree. They could have made it cool with building and all. Yeah, that technically in a video game is quite difficult to do. I acknowledge that, but they didn't do it anyway. They did it in the Lord of the Rings game previously, but Funcom didn't do it. But yeah, the Age of Conan guys were all like, what the fucking hell are you doing making a Lego game? We were like, first time here? You know what I mean? we're like, yeah, we're used to this being just like brushed off, put on the back burner, forgotten about, ignored, and generally forgot, you know, being the gingerhead stepchild kind of thing. Oh, this again. Yeah, for us it was like, yeah. But, you know, the guys that had been it was the same with the Secret World. Like, they got the shock of their life and they were like, we're the new game. Yeah, we're all cool. We're the new game. We were like, just wait. That's going to change very quickly because there'll be another new game and you guys are just going to be ignored. No, this game is the best game of all the games and blah, blah. And we were like, no, trust me on this. We've been here. We have T-shirts. They're going to do the same shit with you. They were smart. They'd make a Minecraft logo with the Lego brand and make a fortune. I don't know. Is that not conflicting IPs, though? Oh, a clone, not Lego. Yeah, maybe. And we were right. Yeah, we said they're going to... You know, they don't care about you. As soon as they're working on a new game, you just don't matter. They're like, no, we're the biggest MMO and blah, 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 blah. And we were like, trust us, it's not going to matter. And now they've forgotten about you for some Lego game that bombed. And they've tried to bury on the internet. Clearly, someone's worked hard to hide the fact they made that game. But they did make it. And it was shit, and no one wanted to play it. But there you go. Because if it had been any good, they'd have had it on their front page. But do you know what's not there? The Lego game. Let's double check. Funcom. Lego game. Funcom. Games. Okay, so we got Conan, I guess. Dune, Exiles. Oh, yeah, they did Hellsinger. That was pretty cool. Aloft, Dune, Spice Wars, Chop Chop. That started off as a meme. Mutant Road to Eden. Nobody played it. Secret World, Conan, Us, Anarchy Online. Then down here, Moons of Madness, The Park, Dreamfall, Longest Journey. Oh, that's strange. Your Lego game isn't there. I wonder why. Oh my God. We've all done things we're embarrassed by, but I mean, you shouldn't pretend they don't work or that you never ever did them. That's foolish. Because people remember. That feels like they tried to bury its existence, doesn't it? It's not on their front page. Why is it not on their front page? Surely they were proud of it. They go back to us, one of the first games they ever made, but not that one. That's odd, isn't it? I don't know how much it costs to develop and produce and promote and publish, but I'm guessing it was a loss overall. There's got to be a reason that you develop a game, publish it, don't put it on your main, page, but do put on a game that's been around for 25 years nearly. I think the thing they do now is go, oh, our first game, Anarchy Online multiplayer, is still active and people still play it. Yeah, I guess we do. I think that's a feather in their cap. You know, oh, we made one of the first MMOs, and they did. They did. Let's not forget that. The game's on the page still playable. Well, Anarchy is. I don't know about the others. I imagine so, or... Yeah, maybe that's what it is. It's not playable anymore, so they buried it. But it's not playable anymore because it was it bombed. You got to remember, there's people working for Funcom now that have never known that they worked on a Lego game because it's before their time. Have no idea what Anarchy Online is because they were picking their nose and eating it. You know, the amount of time that's passed is massive. Yeah, I think they did pull the plug on it and that's why it's not there. But it does, you could also say, well, it feels like they're trying to hide the fact they made that game. I don't think they are. I think maybe because it's not active anymore, they just sort of, well, let's not talk about a game you can't play. Let's focus on the ones you still can. You know, it could be that. It could be that. That would be a reasonable thing, wouldn't it? You know? But, yeah, I don't know. Either way. I just find it funny that you can't Google that game without really digging. I mean, I've no idea what the game was about. I was never interested in it. Lego games were things my son, when he was like 4 or 5, played on the Switch. What was it? No, not the Switch. The Wii U. He had Lord of the Rings Lego, and he quite enjoyed it at the time. But he was a child, so you know. I mean, you see those offers as well, you know, like with Prime and whatever. Prime Gaming, get Lego Clone Wars or something. And you can still play that, but it's not a multiplayer, so... I don't think. I think there's maybe some PvP, but I think mostly it's just playthrough story mode or whatever. Excelsior subscribed at tier 1. Thank you very much. They've subscribed for 19 months. Dude, thank you for 19 months. Much appreciated. Right, team request sent. Yes. Okay, let's go and do the bark and then kaboom. Place the glowing bark at the roots. That's better. Are you going to spend the subscription on whiskey or a computer? Well, that's up to you. Doesn't drop anything. I didn't have to wait for the respawn. I killed it so hard with the other character. Return to Vineyard 4. Okay. Yeah, it's up to you, my dude. Right, if we return to Vineyard 4, I think we get the bow nano as a reward. I don't know. I think we do. I hope so, because that's why I'm doing this. It has been done. There we go. Yay! We got a nano. Upload. Bow and aim shot 55. Right, that's all of Sheol done. Goodbye. Oh, we finished it, even though we didn't necessarily want to. So the next quest line to do, we've already done Adonis, because we got the Adonis brain. And that's why we did the Adonis quest, that and the XP. So the next one's going to be the Penumbra quest. Right, let's have a look-see. Is anyone else streaming Anarchy online? Let's take a look on Twitch. Illegal alien grinding for illegal weapons. Let's check it out. Okay, so right, so you have whatever this is, and music. This isn't. Well, yeah, you'll get illegal weapons from here. But that person's playing two characters, I can tell, because the letters are overlapped. Next level streams Anarchy Online. Okay. I don't think they're a chatty person. They don't seem to have any kind of... Oh my god. Who else? Oh, Catty owner. Alright, yeah, we'll go raid them. They play Elder Scrolls Online, I think. Which doesn't look like, well, an Elder Scrolls game, but what the hell. You know, I might give it a go. One day. Let's go raid them. She plays with her husband or your boyfriend or what, you know, whatever the deal is. I don't know. Guess husband. That looks more like WoW than it looks like Elder Scrolls to me, but maybe I don't know what I'm talking about. Looks pretty cool though. So yeah, we'll go raid them. They do talk to people. Yeah, they don't just play death metal while streaming the subway. Not that I'm against that, I'm just not sure that that's a thing that you guys would be into. So, there we are. Right, love you all. I will miss you all. I'll be back on Friday. I think it depends how things pan out with the real world stuff. So until then, thank you very much for the follows. Thank you for the resubs. And I will see you in the next one. Okay? Bye for now.
That is amazing. Hello, welcome and thank you.